Hey guys, it's Jake, and I want to show you guys how I cut newspaper and the things that I find are important to cutting newspaper. First off is your sword, and what's really important is that your sword is sharp, especially towards the tip, because generally you cut paper with the tip of the sword. So as you can see, it's pretty sharp. And secondly, what you need is good edge alignment. Now, when you're cutting, any sort of cutting, edge alignment is really important, but even more so for paper, because your edge alignment pretty much has to be dead on in order for the paper to be cut cleanly. And as you can see here, I have a sheet of paper that's hung up on a string, and all I'm using is these little paper clips to hold it together. And another thing that you have to note is generally you want the creases of the paper to fold in towards you. So as you can see, the paper is folding in towards me. That helps a lot with your cutting, so that the paper won't be pushed away from you when you cut it with your sword. Instead, it'll just stay there so that your sword can slice it. So next is, especially if you have a line hanging up your paper, then what helps is instead of standing directly in front of it to cut, stand at an angle. If you stand at an angle, there's much less chance that you're going to cut the string. But as you can see, with the full extension, I'm not going to cut the string, but I'm still going to cut the paper. Right? So, just like that. And this also serves a twofold purpose. In the fact that if I have a string up, then I won't cut the string, but at the same time, since I'm standing at an angle towards the paper, even if I just flick my wrist, because of the angle that I am standing at versus the paper, the sword naturally slices through the paper. So I'll just demonstrate real quick. If I were to just snap my wrist, just like that, then as you can see, I just snapped my wrist and I was still able to cut the paper. And it naturally slices the paper. So that really helps a lot if you're trying to cut paper, no matter if you have this string or not, but standing at an angle to the paper definitely really helps. And even if you're cutting at the side, standing a little bit to the side instead of directly in front of it could help you as well. One of the hardest cuts to do though is the upward diagonal cut on paper. So what I like to do is I like to cut at a shallower angle on paper so that disturbs the paper less. And I also, like before, I stand at an angle to the paper, and when I cut, it's a cut that slices at the same time. And also, since I have a line up there, if I stand at an angle to the paper, even with the full extended arc, my sword won't cut the paper. If I were to stand directly in front of it, then, as you can see, my sword would cut the paper. So that's why I stand at an angle and cut the paper. One other thing to note is if you're going to try for, like, say, a double cut or anything along those lines, what you need is speed to bring along to cut the paper. And let me show you guys. So if I were to cut this paper, well, generally what I like to do is use side to side for a double cut. And one thing you have to note is you have to predict where the paper will fall. So as soon as I cut the paper up top here, then it's going to fall immediately. So when I come back for my second strike, it's going to be low, more closer to around where my navel is. So the paper is going to fall almost immediately, and generally it's going to fall around here. So that's why when I come back around, I cut down here. But at the same time, you still have to watch the paper and see how it falls. Okay, so let me try to show you guys real quick. So as you guys can see, I still swung pretty high. I cut up here, and then I cut around this level to cut the paper. And let's see. As you can see, these are from the upward cuts. This is from the horizontal that I did, and this is the double cut as the paper was falling, and I cut it right here. So cutting newspaper is definitely a really good exercise. It helps you to track your target, and it really helps your edge alignment, because without perfect edge alignment, then you won't be able to cut paper cleanly. So yeah, that's pretty much it for how I cut newspaper. Yeah, so it's a really good training tool, and I think that many cutters should do it, because you can do it indoors or outdoors if you want, and really it doesn't really cost much, if anything at all. So yeah, there's that. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, train safe and have fun. Not sure if you guys were able to see that. Sorry for the bad camera angle, but let's see. First cut right here. Second cut is right here. Third cut is right here.